All the
Time.
come on, I take the kid and make him see, make him believe in chasing his dreams and destiny. Truly accept the knowledge, a part of the recipe. In order to have an impact, I first must invest in me. We sowing seeds, locally, globally, overseas. Integrity, dignity, yeah, we living by both of these. The seeds of my players had to take a knee to COVID thieves. The police keep taking knees on our neck, how we supposed to breathe. Now look at me, I'm leading the movement like Booker T. Let's look at the aftermath when Kaepernick took a knee, when MLK took a march, Coretta Scott took a seat. I look defeat in the eyes and I declare victory. I'm fourth alone, I go for the gusto, that's six for me. Right when I cross the TD, I drop down and I take a knee. I'm giving God all the glory, giving the grace to me. Like I take a knee every morning and thankful for waking me. I take a knee.
Good evening, good evening. Here we are, people. Here we are at the UBNGO studio with Tony Sweet in Burbank. And if we looked right now, we have Project with us tonight. Along with Project, we have Dream Givers, and they're kind of like hooked on with each other when you look at the both of them right there. Husband and wife, wife and husband, it's what it is. But we all know that Perlina runs the show right there. So real quick, can you kind of just give us a quick update on what you're doing with Dream Givers, Perlina?
Sure. With Dream Givers, we're doing what we always do, which is advocating for financial education and basically filling the gap for all those families that felt like they have nowhere to go, they don't know what to do. I hear a lot of, well, I don't have a lot of money, so I don't want to bother you guys. But the whole point is that it doesn't matter how much you make, it matters what you do with what you make.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how much you save, it matters that you have the muscle to save, because then your muscle can always grow bigger. So what we do is we help people with anything, like my dad says, anything with money except sign your check. So life insurance, any investments, retirement planning, estate planning, and all that fun stuff. But like I always tell everybody, it's education first, because if you don't know what you're doing, then you're not going to continue to do it, as long as you have to do it in order for it to make sense.
Awesome. You know, also want to give a quick shout out to the Friday Night Life. That's Karina and Chris Stevens. Chris just got done speaking at a clinic at Rancho Santiago. I heard he did a great job. So, you know, give you some applause on that, Chris. But more importantly, what you guys do with Friday Night Life, how that thing's going out, and how you're bringing people in to touch the lives of people out there. Just want to say thank you for what you're doing out there. And also Coach Biliame Tuavai. You know, if we looked at the Island City and his podcast and what he's doing, he does some tremendous work in bringing people in to do what they have to do. And the cool thing is we got a little thing working right now at Winter Circle Athletics, and I'm going to let Coach Osura with Project touch base on what we're doing right now and how we're in alliance with the Winter Circle Athletics. Osura?
Yeah, so we got access to Winter Circle, training the youth. You know, right now we're trying to get to a different level of training with the athletes. Is pretty much educating them on like especially our alliance with Coco. The biggest thing we learned from Coco was to take a knee was the eyes, playing with your eyes and all that stuff. So we kind of meshed all that together with our trainings and get these youth used to that because they're not used to using someone telling them to use their eyes because they're facing down. So we just try to do more of the educating side while training. So that's pretty much what we do with Project and with Coco at Take a Knee.
Awesome. You know, and another shout out that we want to give this shout out to is our guest that we had last week was Wee Ball. And they're kind of probably drifting and maybe even looking. But when they do look, they're going to remember that the following week we had them out on a shout-out because we were serious about being in alliance with them. So it's really important. We want to thank you guys for a great show last week. And I will get that out to you guys tomorrow. I promise it'll be out to you guys tomorrow. Okay? But as we look at everything, once again, this show is powered by Tony Jefferson. And Tony just finished the season very strong with the Baltimore Ravens, And it's awesome because if you looked at the very beginning, the transitions and the pivots that he's gone through, and to end up at the place that he calls home, it's truly a work of God. For that to happen, for that gentleman to be able to go through the transitions and the pivots that he's gone through and give us an opportunity to still be here and doing what he's done, finishing in the Tony Jefferson fashion and what he did. That's the way the season's got to end, exactly on your feet. So really proud of you, Tony, and what you did out there. I think it's important, too, that I give a shout-out to my family. I left the wife home. The kids are with the parents. But I wouldn't be able to be here if I didn't have the support and what the family gives me. So I just want to say thank you to the family right there. And also, along with that, everybody knows now that, we're an RTG family. We're ready to go. So that RTG is the family product. It's right now in the makings, and they're getting ready to really, truly launch it. So it's right there. Guys, know if you want it, just give us a holler. It's there for you. The redundancy of looking for everything is no longer there. You just grab one thing and you're RTG. You're ready to go. So just want to give that quick shout out. But here's a big one that I want to shout out. The Retzlaff family. That's Steve, Reggie, Danny, and their son Jakey. Jakey, I trained them all. But what Jakey just signed his scholarship to go to the University of Texas, El Paso. He's there on a full ride. Right after leaving Centennial, he was a leader there at Centennial. And then he went on to play at Golden West College, and he ended up being Southern California Player of the Year, and then he earned himself a full scholarship. Incredible. Congratulations, Steve. Congratulations to the parents. You guys are awesome. Well-deserved. Jakey, I know you're going to do great things over there. By them signing you, they instantly got better. Congratulations on it. And we're here for the reason, guys. My cousin, son, so he's my younger cousin, Milo. So when we looked at him at Milo's, he's doing some crazy things right now. He started off with the mindset that in a sense, let's look at Milo like this. He's a ship, and a ship does not belong docked in a harbor. As soon as he got the helm of the ship, he took that thing out and he started breaking waves, and he hasn't stopped. There wasn't a COVID. There wasn't a pandemic. There's not even Omicron doesn't even going to do any of it. Nothing's stopping him, right? Common sense and fear is probably the only thing that he's got to worry about. And after talking to him a little bit today, I realize he has neither one of them. So he's going to be able to get things done. But it gives me an incredible opportunity to have a podcast and know that you could bring a family member in, and he's going to drop some gems that's going to help people out there. And truly, that's truly what we're doing right here. So I'd like to say Milo Lorenza, he's here with his daughter, Marina, and his creative art guy, Mr. Johnny Welsh. Yes, but more importantly, they're part of the chain, Porvida, for life. So Milo, if you can, just share with us about, how you got to be who you are, why you're sitting in the seat that you sit in. Let's talk about your family, and then you come up with the thing, Porvida, and we just want to know why. So thank you, Milo.
Hey, thank you for the intro, Coco. Is definitely, it's beautiful. I'm honored to have my daughter right here because this one's really hard to get a hold of sometimes, So to drag her out of her norm and to have her next to me, especially at a time like this, it means a lot. And I got my boy Johnny here too, who's like, just taking the reins and just kind of like, just been growing with me for a little over a year now, I think. Yeah. So, it's just been amazing. And, Porvida wouldn't be where it's at just, without my family and, my lady, Carolina, she's looking right now. And I'm right here live too, but she's logged on, it's just a team effort here. A coffee shop, when you think about it, is not really such a big old, big deal, but it's helped my family, not only change the steps of like where we're going and giving us a avenue, but it's really changed a lot like internally. So, it's whatever you put your heart into, you're going to get back. And definitely putting our heart and our passion into a coffee shop has really came back, and we're just super thankful and blessed.
You know, and listening to that, you right away could see that Milo is family oriented. You know, and to be able to sit down and just look at you and authentically see that you're thrilled. You're thrilled that your daughter's here.
Yeah.
That you're right next to her, and I think that's awesome. You know, to me, that is truly what we are. You know, and when you look at family, it's incredible. You know, you talked about team, which is awesome, but you know, you started Porvida, you know, and we know when we look at Porvida, you look at your wife, you look at your family. Yeah. There's a legacy that goes right with that thing, you know, and up there we got your logo, I look at that and I think of a legacy, and just like all of us, we all have a logo, and eventually that becomes an identity,
right?
And then from the identity it becomes, you know, you got your daughter right there. Eventually her kids are going to be part of the Sport of Vida thing,
exactly.
You know, and then when we are no longer, we will always be longer,
exactly.
You know, so yeah. I think it's awesome that you're right here, and you get to see your dad. You get to see your dad do that. So
awesome.
So how do you feel about
he's
your
my
dad's
dad? He's my best friend. He's my boss. It's like I work for them, you know, and it's just like, it's really cool. I get to work with my dad every day, you know.
Yeah.
And even like sometimes we're so busy and we have like different locations, I don't even see him, you know. And then but he's still there, you know. And in essence, it's.
Yeah, I think, like I said, that, like having family around you. We even have a 13-year-old too, and he gets behind the register, and he tears it up too. So it's like, you know, it's truly a family business. And when you say like you build for your family, this is like, I mean, we do it for our family, and definitely our immediate family. You know, having, you know, 2 girls and the son. And you know, that's your core, but as you grow and you build this team, they also become your family, you know. And I think that's the most important part is it's a unit thing, you know. And it's crazy how, like I said, something so small can grow and just be like infectious to so many people in a good way, you know. So and that's what we're about, man. We just want to make good moves, right moves, and when we go, we all go, you know.
Yeah,
we're taking everybody with us.
You know, it's incredible how he loops everybody in.
Always.
And in the fashion of looping everybody in, he has the team concept, you know. And the corny thing is, and I say this a lot on this show, is you know, you hear that, there's no I in team. Yeah. Everyone says that, right? But there is an M and an E.
Yeah.
And it's not about me. Yeah. It's about more energy, more execution, more enthusiasm, more excitement, and more everybody.
I love that.
And then when you get that happening right there, you have a concept that's embraced. And then you have your bucket that can't be erased. Right. So what's pretty cool is you have that rolling. And then you talk about team. I think it's only right now to say, you know, in hearing Milo speak, John, and I called Milo. I says, well, who are you going to bring? And he says, I'm going to bring my creative director, right? Is that what you said?
He's my homie, but he's my creative. You know, that's his title. He's that's what he does, man. And I'm not going to take that away from him. You know, it's hard to give someone that kind of access to your baby and let them ride with it, you know. And Johnny's done that. I've opened the door and I said, hey, Johnny, this is what we are. This is who we are. And he's taken it, you know, to the next level. And, you know, I can't be more, you know, thankful for him. You know, this past year and a half with him, it's been great. We got to thank his wife because he pulled him away from his family, you know, put in long days and long nights, you know. So thank you, Wendy, for allowing me to share your husband.
She's watching right now.
Right.
But you know, and looking at in talking to Milo, and he was really solid. And I'm bringing in my creative director, and to me, I was like, wow, that he threw a title out there on that thing, and Asura, you know how when I hear about artists and creative people, I mean, I like go crazy. You know, I want to know what he does and just leave him alone. I already showed him my taking these stuff, right? Why? Because he's an artist. Yeah. And when you have an artist and you can trust somebody like that, then you know authentically and genuinely you've shared some fibers. They took a knee. They had a tack session.
Yes, we did.
So now they're just going up and finishing up the task at hand. Yeah. But share with us, Johnny, what it means to be a part of Porvida and the family.
Oh man, like it's total family. You know, it's Milo's all about creating a space, but he's not about like holding that space. And Porvida is not like about like holding that space for them. It's about like, you know, embracing and allowing people to, you know, to live. You know what I mean? Like for life. You know, there's this thing that Milo and Caro do and all of our team does where it's just like you speak about teams, it's like passing that ball back and forth. It's like nobody's trying to hog it. Everybody's trying to like, you know, go and when somebody makes a goal, we all make that goal together.
Well, you're talking about rugby now. Come on. No, come on now.
Yeah, you know. But I mean he creates a space, you know, for everyone to shine. You know, it's I would say that Porvida really is like a family unit, and it's super strong.
Awesome. You know, in hearing that, Perlina, Osura, I just saw, this is what I just saw. I see Milo getting to the top of the mountain, but we don't see nothing but him bending over in two hands, meaning, come on, Osura, get up here before I don't need to straighten up. Come on, Perlina. Yeah. Come on, John. Come on, Marina. Yeah. Right? Leave Coco down there. He'll help us down. But that's what I see, and I don't know if you see that, but how do you react to that, Osura? How do you react to that, Perlina, and knowing that there's a gentleman right here that doesn't know how to stop and keeps the grind going and keeps it in the fashion of where Buddy's excited and motivated to go forward with them?
Oh, you know, Coach, I mean, just from the video and the little bit that we learned about them before they came on today, I gotta say that the most stunning part is their branding. That in such an instant, I could really tell like what their vibe was, what their message was. I mean, outside of obviously the name is an amazing name, great brand, great logo. Like I love it, and you know, it's based on that. It doesn't surprise me that they are such a solid family unit, like a team. I come from a family business as well. You know, my dad's been in business for himself for over 40 years. And we run another business outside of the ones we shared with you guys tonight that we run together. Unfortunately, ours won't allow our kids to work there because you have to be 21 and over. Okay. But you know, but I think it's awesome. I mean, you guys are true entrepreneurs. You know, and honestly, it kind of sometimes takes an entrepreneurial parent to plant the seeds in kids, because entrepreneurs are rare.
Right.
And successful entrepreneurs are even more rare.
Right. True story.
And so, you know, I tip my hat off to you guys. My husband and I were always so impressed and so grateful when we get to see what we hope will be our future.
Yes.
I hope my kids, we have 2 girls and 1 boy. I hope my child will, number 1, be able to call me their best friend, and number 2, be excited to actually show up.
It's cool.
Hey, she drove, so yeah. She drove here, so she had no choice.
So I know, I applaud you guys. I mean,
thank you.
An example like this, and then to do it with swag.
Yeah.
You know, because some people just feel like business needs to be so square.
Yeah, no.
And you know, and I'm really excited because our generation and the next generation is going to be off the top.
Right.
You know, because you know, we want to make sure that nobody has to struggle to stay inside a box, and nobody has to be labeled.
Right.
But everybody gets to be welcomed, you know? So I'm excited. Like, I'm excited to come visit your guys' location.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pull
Come.
up.
Come.
Excited
We're,
to have
we're
you.
gonna try to get a Porvida camp down in San Diego, and then we'll be able to
Right.
dash on
Already.
over there right afterwards.
Right.
Already.
Right.
Do it.
We'll do that for life.
No pun intended.
Part of the family. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
You know,
It's a growing thing every day.
when you look at it, we always talk about from the ground to the crown, but to be able to get to the crown, you gotta kind of go visit it a little bit. That way you understand the procedures, the landscape, the terrain, whatever you want to identify it with, and then you'll know if you want to get that. So during the course of your growth, it seemed like you guys already gone to the crown, and then you built that foundation, which is pretty solid, and then you add it. I look at this thing as those are harmonic steps. Those are that's creativity. And that's being a true trailblazer. There's a few things that can identify what's going on, but for me, I see that relationships are important, because when you have solid relationships, you're going to be able to grow, and you're going to be able to absorb the water, and it's going to get down to the root of everything it needs to do, and it's going to blossom, and that's happening. But what are the harmonic steps that lead you into the future and still makes you maintain your passion and your sanity? Because if you looked at what we're in today in today's society, you can have a drive to go forward, man, but when you get back home, there's that. And then you go to the right, there's that, and to the left, there's that. This is no joke. And I've known Milo since he was born, right? His mom's one of my first cousins, and so I've known Milo all his life, and Milo has always been a guy that's going to be calm, cool, and collective. Even as a little kid, he kind of knew where he was heading and what he was going to do. Doesn't surprise me that his mindset is where it's at, and that he makes the choices of the people that's surrounding him. But we're in a new era.
Right.
We're in a new era, and what were the things that you saw in those harmonic steps that you want to make sure that you maintain and keep? And by maintaining and keeping it, not going crazy at home to disrupt that, not going crazy with all the other things you're doing, because one time I thought that he had 3 restaurants, that he was just opening a 3rd one. He's going to share with it now. Now it's numerous. So when it's numerous, how do you keep your sanity? And how do you keep the passion? So if you could share that with us, that'll help a lot of people that's thinking they can't do anything, and here's a guy doing it all.
Again, like I said, man, it takes. We're gonna go back to what we talked about, man. The team, it's definitely a team, and my right hand, Carolina's been on my hip, since day one, and
is that your
my wife?
You see how? I guess we're trained, sir. We're trained.
I gotta say her name, man. If I don't tell her name, she's gonna be like, "Who's your wife? Who's your lady?" Yeah.
No, see,
We're
trained.
She's my backbone, man. She just, it's. I can't front. You know what I mean? I mean, I definitely have the creative, the sight, the vision. I know. I think I understand that part, but. There's 2 sides to the song. There's the beat, and then there's a singer, right? You know what I mean? And there's rarely that someone makes the beat and sings on the same track. So no, but I think that's really what holds me down is literally sometimes I get crazy, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna do this and that, and then she's like, bring it back a couple notches.
She's
you know what I mean?
Businesswoman.
Yeah, she's a businesswoman, and
savvy.
it's very savvy and it's balance, and having that is I can't express how important that is, just it's super important when you have that balance. And I think that's with anything is balance is, in your business, your relationship with your family, that and consistency. Consistency is another thing that I think that what kept Porvida afloat even through this pandemic was just being consistent, and a lot of people have a lot of hard time with that. We struggle with it, but we try not to let it, it don't stop us. We just kind of we just reevaluate and then we keep moving. But consistency is super important. You know, if you don't stay consistent, if someone doesn't know you're going to be there every day, then they're going to venture off somewhere else. But if they could depend on you, even for that cup of coffee or, you know, or whatever it is, that they're going to be there, you know. So consistency is super important to us, you know, and it's just, you know, it's just a matter of just, you know, being also ahead of being ahead of that creative curve, you know, before someone else does it. You gotta pull the trigger first. Coffee's, I didn't understand and realize how competitive it really is, right?
Yeah.
You know,
especially now, like
yeah,
in the last 5 years.
yeah, it's like the beer game, you know, used to be like breweries and stuff like that. But now it's like craft coffee seems to be the thing. But what holds us, I think, forward, and I'll openly say this, because I mean, there's hundreds and thousands of coffee shops out there. It's like, honestly, like, we do it differently. No one does it like us, you know. We brought our culture, we brought our Chicano culture into the coffee game. And when we first started it, nobody was doing that. You know, nobody was doing it. Coffee was a foreign thing, especially to the Mexican culture. We didn't go to coffee shops. You know what I mean? It was like, why would you go to coffee? You make it at home, you know? And even myself, I'll say this, before I started my coffee business 7 years ago, I didn't drink coffee. I didn't drink coffee. So
I was a hairstylist.
Yeah, she's a hairstylist. You know, we were
and now
like,
I'm like a barista.
Now she's a barista managing shops and stuff. So, you know, it's one of those things you adapt. You know what I mean? You adapt to your environment, and you just like kind of move. You move, and that's what you do to stay ahead of that curve.
Yeah, we call it transitions and pivots.
There it is.
You know,
and
that's the reason why this show is what it is, because you authentically and genuinely drop the gem,
right?
And there it was, right? But as you look at that, you're talking about consistency, and I here's what I tagged him as now. After looking at all his stuff to put everything together, and listening to him, I got my creative director coming in, right? So I named him. I named my cousin Milo. Milo's now he's a creative Chicano.
I call him the mayor.
A true trailblazer.
That's heavy.
So
I'll take it.
So, but he's still trying to be a little humble, and I want this to get out, because I thought you were opening your third restaurant.
No.
Kind of run it down to us where you're at.
Okay,
I want to know where you're at.
I got
18? How many?
We got no. We don't have that many yet. We want to be the Starbucks, you know, of maybe I shouldn't say that. No, we don't want to be the Starbucks, but we'll stay in our own lane. But we'll have as many as them, hopefully. No, we have our first shop is in Barrio Logan, which is located near downtown San Diego. Then our second one is in Plaza Bonita, which is in a Westfield Mall, in National City, where we're from. You know, so that was kind of a great milestone for us too, man. To like the opportunity to open up in a city that, you know, we were born and raised, and our family is rooted in this city. And once we had the opportunity to open up there, it meant so much to me. Just for so many reasons. And so yeah, that one. And then we have another one now in Sherman Heights, which is another, you know, and these are neighborhoods that are
neighboring neighborhoods.
They're neighborhoods, yeah, they're neighborhoods. These ain't no.
They're the barrios.
These are barrios. We're in the barrios. We're gonna be in every barrio before you know it. You want to be in the Boyle Heights of LA or East Los? That we're coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know we're gonna go. We're gonna be everywhere. Just we know that. But and then that's
the three. And then we have the El Carito.
And then so we have a beautiful thing, man. We have this restaurant that's called El Carito. It's also located in Barrio Logan, next to our first location, and that's just a gem, man. I mean, you know, we put it together, and when we talk about, like we talked about earlier, about family, this is like a family orchestrated place. I mean, you cannot get more family than it is.
Get your reservation, Perlina.
Yeah,
Get it in, girl.
Yeah. We'll hold down.
Tony,
We'll
come
hold
on.
down. We'll hold down the chilaquiles game, man. My mother-in-law is a she made this chilaquiles recipe. Man, it's
She has the best, sauces and
everything. So, my father-in-law, mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, they run that, and they're amazing at that. And we're just, I mean, we want to open up more of those, but we just got back from a family vacation all together in Guadalajara. And it's like, yeah, do it. And then it's like, oh, the work. Nah, maybe not. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, so we have the restaurant. So that's 2 Porvidas, a restaurant, 3 Porvidas, and a restaurant. And then we're opening up a 4th one in a place called Old Town San Diego. It's kind of like a tourist attraction. It's a beautiful place, and we got another opportunity to be there. So, yeah, we got there, and we have a lot of work to do. Yeah, we have some other. We have a mobile coffee truck also. We have a mobile coffee truck that runs around the city. So
that's the one I saw. The thing that says the grind.
Yeah, in the grind we trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So. I don't know. I feel like, it's a lot, but we just, it's a family thing. It's a team, man. And we got such a great team. And I just keep going back to that because we wouldn't get to take vacations and go on places if we didn't have the team that we have, and a shout out to all our baristas and our workers, man. They
hold it down.
They hold it down. These guys are amazing. When we went through this pandemic and people lost workers and we went through that. We scaled down to just me and Gato, and everybody was just gone. We understood.
3 of us.
Yeah, we understood why. And we were like, okay, it's time to buckle down. And we really got to reconnect not only with each other on that level, me, my daughter, and Caro, but as, in business, because it really affected a lot of people, the pandemic, but then in, November, mid-pandemic, we opened up another location, So it was like, sleepy feet don't eat. You know what I mean? And if you ain't gonna, if you ain't moving and shaking, then this is how we pay our car, how we pay our rent, how we pay our cell phone. This is how we eat. We don't. People were getting stimulus checks and all this stuff. We didn't get. We didn't bank on that. You know what I mean? We didn't bank on that unemployment. We didn't. It was a lot. It was hard. But we couldn't stop, because if we stopped. That ship that Coco talked about would have sunk, and I got my kids.
I wouldn't have been talking about it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here. But like I said, we got kids. We got Happy Meals, and we got stuff to buy, toilet paper and toothpaste.
Reality.
Yeah. We got GameStops and stuff to support, but. It's just one of those things, man. When you believe in what you do, I think, and you got the support of your family and friends, there's no excuses. You know what I mean? And I think that just goes with anything. I think that doesn't just go with being, a coffee shop or I think that's just whatever you put your heart to. And you're 10 toes down. Let's go. You know what I mean? And like I said, there's some people that are about it, but then there's some people that be about it, and we're about it. We be about it. We do what we do, and we're a little hood and we're a little ghetto sometimes, but we wouldn't change that because it's who we are. You know what I mean? And that's how we roll.
That's the main thing too of why everything works, is just because it's like it really is who we are. Like we wake up and we are who we are, and it's no matter what, people gravitate towards us. The coffee shop,
you're Porvida.
We're Porvida. From down to our drinks, our drinks taste the same every location.
Shout out Manny. Shout out Man Bay.
Man Bay, killing it. But down to everything, it's who we are.
Yeah. You know what's awesome in this segment. what we're doing right here, because this segment is just really to address what's under your umbrella.
Yeah.
And you hit it. You probably hit it better than anyone that's been on the show. Marina, we go through this one all the time, and you gave it to us. The cool thing is your passion and sanity. You demonstrated it to us right here. I mean, if you got any more closer, you'd have a microphone on the back of your neck. You know, but it was awesome. But as we move forward, you know, we look at that phase of it. Is now he's ready to get into the second half of his life.
Yeah.
He's ready to go because we already know he believes in team. He's got a family oriented. It's all about family, and they're all about being all about it. So everyone's closing down and they're heading forward. That ship ain't sunk. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
But you know, knowledge of what is needed in the toolbox to have a chain. Think about that. Not a restaurant, but a chain. He has a few Porvidas, and I imagine the business segment of it goes along with the other 3 or 4 things you have. So in a sense, that becomes a chain. So the knowledge of what is needed in the toolbox for that chain, when that happens, you create yourself your own finished mindset, your toolbox into the future. Okay. And when you look at that, what are 2 things that you know you need in that toolbox that got you to be who you were back, that you can't let it leave you in the future? I know one of it's probably consistency, because you talk about it all the time. Yes. If you were to look at that, Johnny, and answer that, because sometimes, you know, the boss has a lot of things running through, but what do you think is going to be besides consistency, the next thing that doesn't keep you guys from being a link away from each other?
I would say like the strong suit would be consistency, family, and, you know, like favor, you know, like, I mean, I haven't seen many people with like God's favor, like this family, you know, let's just be really honest. And the humility and, like, you know, just you're humble, man. Like, you know, like where it's able to, you know, give credit where credit's due, you know, like I would say that was it, you know, like.
You know, that's awesome, because, and then we talked about it in a sense, you know, to reach a distant goal, one to take many. You know, I say that all the time, embracing. But when somebody embraces your goal, embraces you, you recognize your value.
Absolutely.
That's pretty awesome, and you kind of just said it in a small amount of words, you know. And by you, Milo, giving props to people, they love to hear that they did something right. Or they don't even know they're doing it right, but then now you just reassure them what they're doing is awesome.
Right.
You know, so Osiris talks about how we like to use our eyes everywhere we do. So sight is incredible, because you can even see beyond and see clear. And that's sight. And I think you guys have that in the knowledge that comes in that toolbox. But, you know, as in people's life, there's certain people that, or certain things, when you hear a name, you know, it gravitates you ignite with it. So I'm gonna throw a few things right here with you, Milo, and just kind of let us know what comes to your mind when you first hear this. Okay, let's look at mentor. If you were to look at someone that you could gravitate to, that you could be, who would you say helped you be or get in the direction where you're heading right now as a mentor?
There's a couple people that I can that just come up right off the top of my head, and one of my dear friends, his name's Bobby Tribal. He owns a clothing brand here in San Diego, and you know, he's someone that I've always looked up to, just, you know, as far as business and again family. You know, it's just one of those things where you know, I watch him move. You know, you watch people move, and you watch how they adjust and pivot. You know, and you just kind of like, you see yourself doing that, and you know, and I see him move with business and the way he moves with him and his family and stuff, and it's always been like kind of an inspiration for me, you know. But you know, there's so many people, man. You know, I like I said, even coming up here, we were just talking in the car, and you know, you were always someone that I've always looked up to growing up. You know, just I remember, you know, you coaching for Sweetwater and stuff, and just remembering like how like you've always been like a leader, not only in that sense, but as I said again, coming down here is like with our family. You know what I mean? So. You know, if I can go on, you know, but it's just people that stick out, you know, and even you know, we haven't really kept in touch since you moved up to, you know, up to here to LA and stuff. But like, you know, there's just certain things growing up as a youngster, growing up to be, you know, man, you recognize those characters of those people, and you just take a little bit of everything, and then, you know, and so, you know, but it's, you know, there's so many good people that's been around me, you know what I mean? And, you know, and, you know, my mom's been definitely an inspiration for me. Rest in peace. You know, she passed a couple years ago, and, you know, I think a lot of this is, definitely, you know, I know a lot of this is because of her. You know, she's guiding me, you know, even harder right now, you
Awesome.
know, so, you know, I'm a big believer in that. And, you know, just, you know, it's just some family, man, just family.
You know, and listening to that too, you know, you talked about mentor. I was going to ask you about your wife, but you had already done touch base, and you can tell that, you know, how special of a partner that you have.
Very.
You know, soulmate.
Yes.
And I think that's awesome. And you know, and mentioning, I'll mention one a name, and I want you to see if you can find one or two words to what it thinks of. Ellen.
That guy, he was just like, for me, Alan is like the ultimate man, you know, like from bottom to top, you know. He like great role model, you know, for sure. Huh?
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
from everything.
That's our dad.
My
dad.
grandpa.
Our grandfather.
The way he spoke to like my nana,
Yeah.
the way he spoke to
you know, he was out 2 words, man. Discipline, discipline, and loving. You know,
Awesome. I used to call Alan Adobo because every time we had a family event,
adobo.
Alan would make the best adobo around. So
discipline and loving.
he was
That's it.
Alan Adobo.
Yeah, you know, rest in peace. Also, you know.
Yeah, and if you were to look at our family in a sense, and look at them in a broad manner, we're really from a huge family. My mom was one of 11 sisters. There were 5 brothers, so there were 16. I believe we're close to 80-something first cousins or 80 first cousins, and the family's right into the 500s with all the kids having kids.
Right.
So it's really a big family. But growing up, when you look at just the broadness of the family, it's a family, I think, that displays strength and guidance, and I think that kind of, for all of us, gives us that kind of that grunt of, you know, I'm not going to quit. Yeah. And I think that's important to have in your life. But what I see within Milo is you remind me of the uncles, right? Because the uncles were kind of really quiet. My aunts were the ones that were really wild. And they were the ones that kind of held the families together, and every one of their families were solid, you know, and a lot of us looked at a lot of our uncles as role models, and I really see you taking that role, and I think that's influence, and that's just having good eyes to recognize that that's the way it's done, and you guys were also blessed with Alan to help
Yeah.
that along. So I think you guys are really blessed in that phase. You know, when you get into the second phase or the second half of a football game, the second half of life, there's going to be some sudden changes. There's going to be things that's going to go wrong, you know, and when that happens, in football, there's usually a timeout,
Right.
you know, when there's a turnover. And then you can go to the sideline, and then a Sura comes out to the numbers, and he talks to the kids, and he becomes a Sura, and then they kind of all relax, and they're going to be able to go out there and perform again, you know. So when you look at I call it a work-to-win mindset, a championship vision, what did you see with adversity? How do we in this new universe leverage your strengths as a GPS for those you inspire? So when you look at that, you know, what's your mindset that says, you know, I'm this guy, I don't even know how to say the word luth. You know, I know one year we were 12 and we had 12 wins and 1 luth. You know, so I like to say lesson's a lot easier for me on that. So when I look at this right here, what's the foundation and what can you truly hang your hat on, all you guys, to know that no matter what, if it gets back to the nitty-gritty or really down to this, we got a downscale to this, but we can hang our hat on here and we'll stay afloat. Okay, I want you all to think about that and then touch base on us real quick. We got 4 minutes, so we got to really run.
Okay.
Okay,
We ready to run? Okay.
so let's see what we have.
You ready to go?
You want to go, Johnny?
Good.
I'm waiting for you to go.
Okay. If we had to scale down,
Yeah.
bring it back, and have one thing that we could hang our hat on. Oh man, you know what, man? I'm gonna go the easy way out, man. My family, stick with my family, man. And you know, I think that's where that's where it started, and that's all I got. Then I'm gonna start it again with them again. So I would say my family, because it's just what it is. I hate to be so easy on that, but if I said anything else, I'd be lying.
Right. It's just a major factor, I think, in what we do every day, and like all gas, no brakes. You know, we gotta. Just, it doesn't stop. So if it does stop, like we did it once, we could do it again.
Yeah.
You know, we know what to do now, how to move again. You know, learn from those.
Awesome. What about you, John?
I'd have to say the same thing. It's not just a cop out, you know, but it's like it's family. You know, like my wife has like just. I can't even begin to tell you how she's held me up and believed in me when I haven't believed in me, and my 2 boys. You know, it's just I wake up excited about family.
Awesome. You know, Perlina and Osura, and hearing their response, what do you guys? What's your reaction to that?
I said the same exact thing on mute. That would have been just like you said, just being real. You know what I mean? Like for me, that's what I would go back to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not something. It's not an easy. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't have that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They can't go back to that. So
True story.
that was the first thing that came to my mind when Coach asked that. And I already knew it was going to come out of Milo. I was like, so I mean, it's not a cop out, man. That's just being 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You know,
I'm ready to open my Samoan coffee shop now.
Let's do it.
I'll go over
Let's
there,
do it.
help train.
Hey, they're culturally driven.
Believe me, we got
Hey.
Samoan families out there watching right now, dude. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
So you know what's awesome, and that is that's a foundation.
Right.
So when you go back to the foundation,
Ohana.
and you know it's right there. The Ohana, the familia, you know, the tribe.
Yeah.
But you got that then. So now there's 2 minutes left in the game, and really we're right there. There are 2 minutes left in the game. How do you handle deadlines? Peacefully, when they're yours or not yours, but just plain do. And by handling those, how do you keep deadlines that somebody can't fulfill during the COVID time? Say something happened, but how do you handle that and still have them embrace all of it and stay hungry to be involved with what you guys are doing? How do you guys handle deadlines?
I say just, if it's something we can fulfill, we'll do it. If not, we just got to be honest, because our name stands by who we are. And
integrity, baby. We're talking about it.
if we don't pull that card and stay true to what we're going to, be accountable for, then our word ain't nothing, man. Yeah. So, just be honest with it. If we can make it happen, we can make it happen.
So you're saying, I hear good, I see better?
Yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
Real nice and short. Well, that's real easy right there in that 2 minutes. So here we are. Last play of the game. What do you leave for those to resonate on for the elevation and their journey and the enhancement for their program? What quick advice can you give them that's something that they're going to say yes?
Stay in it. If you believe in it, just go after it. All day. You could do it. You could do it. And it's like now it's starting to hit me like, I can't do this. Yeah.
Because you're a Mexican. You're not a Mexican.
Right. So if you're thinking about it every day, there's a reason why, so go after it.
Awesome. Awesome. What do you think, Milo?
Consistency. Consistency is a word that is so loosely used, but it's, some people just don't understand it, and they use it a lot of times, and they use it probably every day. But if you really sit back and listen to that word over and over and over again, and it's consistency, and its consistency can go with anything you do, whether it's your marriage, your business, your being a father, being a boss, being anything you can do. That one word will guide you through anything.
Yeah.
Awesome. Kind of sounds like what we do with our training. We're real consistent in certain drills, and what they do by the reps just create nothing but perfection.
Right.
So the consistency in your tools creates some perfection. So, it was awesome to hear that, but that is it. And if we look at the show is done, that's tack time all the time. We just took a knee with Porvida. We were able to let their fibers jump into us and ours into them. So we truly appreciate that you guys drove up to be able to give us the blessing of having you guys with us. So at this time, we'd like to be able to thank Tony Jefferson one more time for doing what he's done. Hey, we wouldn't be here if Tony wouldn't provide for it. So, good things are happening all the way around for this thing to happen and the gems to be dropped. So thank you, Tony. Absolutely. And also our next guest is going to be a Project. And when we get Project out there, we're excited because it's going to be next week, and they're going to be able to drop all the gems on what they're doing on the calendar. They got some special things going on with the nines. They got the things working with the Winter Circle. And there's a lot of things happening, so we're excited about our next guest. And once again, we want to thank Coach Tutu for giving us the Tack Time song right here for Porvida. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, and we're out.
Bye, guys. Nice
blessings to everybody.
We're gonna visit.
Yeah,
Come through. Bring the family. Bring the Ohana. We'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Coco didn't really tell you that we have Filipino in us too, so we got that.
I told you I'm Filipino.
Hey, okay, don't bring it
I
up.
heard the word adobo.
Yeah, we got that. Don't worry about that. We got you covered.
I didn't mention my dog. All right, guys.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
All the time, tack time, all the time, come on, tack time, all the time, tack time, all the time, come on. I take the kid and make him see, make him believe in chasing his dreams and destiny, truly accept the knowledge a part of the recipe. In order to have an impact, I first must invest in me. We sowing seeds, locally, globally, overseas, integrity, dignity, yeah, we living by both of these. The season my players had to take a knee to cope with these. The police keep taking knees on our neck, how we supposed to breathe. Now look at me, I'm leading the movement like Booker T. Let's look at the aftermath when Kaepernick took a knee, when MLK took a march, Coretta Scott took a seat. I look defeat in the eyes and I declare victory. I'm walking along, I vote for the gusto, that's 6 for me. Right when I cross the TD, I drop down and I take a knee. I'm giving God all the glory for giving the grace to me. Like I take a knee every morning and thankful for waking me. I take a knee.